Yesterday, we observed the appearance day of Srila Gaur Govinda Sai Maharaj in the morning, because I said in evening I have some other engagement. Actually, I was invited to the reunion of our primary school mates. So some of them I saw after 30 years now already. I went only with one reason, to see whether any of them became Krishna Bhakta, or if not, what happened with them and how they're happy or what. So by Krishna's mercy, I could minutely observe, and mostly Rajaguna, Tamaguna going on. Only one schoolmate, one girl, now of course married and children, everything, she had a bit Satya Guna type. So with her I was speaking a little more, and she was also mentioning about soul something, did not speak in detail, but generally only Rajagun, Tamagun. And I was very grateful to Krishna that he brought me to this Krishna consciousness path, because although they are quite successful in material life, but I could not feel any real happiness, and like empty talk, those things. And also I saw my schoolmate became a butcher, it's meat, and among all he was the most unhappy. Really, I saw in that like a depression something. Although outwardly successful, big house and so many things, but inside heart he was the most unhappy of all. So I was very grateful to Krishna to give me this experience that I could see. I became more determined to follow devotional path. And also I noticed they had some natural more respect for me. I don't know why, but some respect more than like in those days. And also one classmate, he told, you do that, what you are doing in India and all these things, but you little more eat. I said, I'm eating enough, but not gaining. Then another one classmate, he defended me. He said, he's doing fine, because I was not drinking any alcohol and not eating what they were eating. So then another one came into my defense, and he said, let him do how he's doing. You can see how he's shining, I don't know what Krishna showed him, but I felt that he got something and he could appreciate. So ultimately it was a nice experience by the grace of Krishna. And today also we had program in Zagreb, Croatia. I told, because one prominent devotee, she left her body recently, so we had Viraha Sabha today, that festival of separation. So those devotees who were connected with her, we all came and we spoke in memory of her, our experiences and the glories of her. And it was very nice to hear from devotees. She did a lot of seva from like 99 onwards, inviting her, means hosting her, Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Puri Gosai Maharaj and other Maharajas, and all the time doing a lot of preaching and programs, so many things, nice. So that was nice to hear the experiences of devotees with her. And then also we did some kirtan and took prasad, and it was nice. So now we are continuing our SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM hearing. Yesterday we no, day before yesterday, we finished chapter 15 in 3rd Canto. Today starting chapter 16. The two doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, Jai and Vijay, cursed by the sages. Brahmovach. Iti tat grinatam tesham muninam yogadharminam pratinandya jagadedam Vikunta Nilaya Vibhu. Lord Brahma said, after thus congratulating the sages for their nice words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose abode is in the kingdom of Godhead, spoke as follows. We heard about the description of Supreme Lord's beauty and qualities. So Narayan was satisfied and he spoke. Shri Bhagavan Uvach. Eto to parshado mahyam jayo vijaya evacha kadarti kritya mam yatvo bhavakratam atikramam. The Personality of Godhead said, these attendants of mine, Jai and Vijay, by name, have committed a great offense against you because of ignoring me. Yas tvetayor drito dando bhavadbir mam anuvrateih sa eva numatos mabhir munayo deva helanat. O great sages, I approve of the punishment that you who are devoted to me have meted out to them. Tatvah prasadayam yadya brahmadevam paramhime tadhiti atma kritamanya yat swapumbir asat krita. To me, the Brahmana is the highest and most beloved personality. The disrespect shown by my attendants has actually been displayed by me because the doormen are my servitors. I take this to be an offense by myself. Therefore, I seek your forgiveness for the incident that has arisen. Like when Srivas Thakur came to hear Bhagavatam from Devananda Pandit and got ecstatical symptoms and was crying, then students of Devananda Pandit could not understand because they were Gyanis. Then they thought it as a disturbance and they threw him out and in front of their Guru Devananda Pandit. So because Devananda Pandit did not do anything, they're his disciples, so that offense came to him. So here also Supreme Lord is saying, they are my servitors. So it was displayed by me. So you please forgive me. Yan namani cha grinati loko britye kritagasi sosadu vadastat kirtin hanti tvacham ivamaya. A wrong act committed by a servant leads people in general to blame his master, just as a spot of white leprosy on any part of the body pollutes all of the skin. Yasyamri tamala yashak shravanavagahah sadyah punati jagat ashvapachat vikunta soham bhavadbhya upalabda sutirta kirtish chindyam svabahum apivah pratikula vrittim. Anyone in the entire world, even down to the Chandala, who lives by cooking and eating the flesh of the dog, is immediately purified if he takes bath in hearing through the air the glorification of my name, fame, etc. Now you have realized me without doubt. Therefore, I will not hesitate to lop off my own arm if its conduct is found hostile to you. This is very important point. Sometimes it is said, if one chants holy name, actually with surrender, then Chandala even can be purified, but Brahmin cannot be if he is not a devotee. So here, taking bath in hearing, because hearing is like getting that nectar, liquid. You can drink it or you can take bath in it, of my name, fame, etc. So I will not hesitate to lop off my own arm if its conduct is found hostile to you. Like servitors, I will punish them if I see they are hostile to you because you are devotees. So I forgot to mention that yesterday 2 things I felt very grateful that how Krishna brought me to this Krishna consciousness. Otherwise I would be like them, drinking alcohol, eating meat, and this worldly life. And I felt some sadness, sorry for them, and some compassion. But you cannot help unless you yourself are well established in devotion, and they also have to get some sukriti. So that I felt. I was the only one who was not drinking alcohol, except that one I said she was a bit sattvic. She was also drinking beer, but without alcohol. So otherwise, also very difficult. That life, I felt some compassion for them. And I was having tilak, not fully, but enough to be seen. And they asked me, because I brought that one Sadhu Maharaj from Vrindavan to our president. So they were asking me and I was explaining, and no one was like objecting. All were quite respectful. I was surprised. No one would argue anything when they were respectful, not interested to do, but respectful that I'm doing. So that was good. That may also give them some sukriti. If some even appreciate something in that direction, that also already brings some sukriti. Yat sevaya charana padma pavitra renum sadyah kshatakila malam pratilabdashilam nashrir viraktam apimam vijahati yasyah preksha lavarta itare niyaman vahanti. The Lord continued, because I am the servitor of my devotees, my lotus feet have become so sacred that they immediately wipe out all sin, and I have acquired such a disposition that the goddess of fortune does not leave me, even though I have no attachment for her, and others praise her beauty and observe sacred vows to secure from her even a slight favor, Lakshmi. Everyone wants money, so they want her favor. But Supreme Lord has totality of renunciation. He is not attached to anything or anyone. Only he is controlled by the devotion of his devotees. So, because even if someone, it is stated in Shastra, if someone sees tilak, he will also be benefited, because this is a temple of Bhagavan. this is one kind of practice to satisfy Krishna. Our Gurudev told, this is not decoration or makeup or sectarian, like we are this sect, you are that sect. No, this is putting tilak is service of Krishna to satisfy him. So my Gurudev told me at initiation time, maybe you will be shy to wear tilak, you will want to please other people, but you should think deeply. At the time of death, who will come to save you? Can they save you, or Krishna can rescue you? If you put tilak, then Krishna will be happy. It is for his satisfaction. And this Tulsi Mala also, and the Yamaraj also told to his servants, you bring everyone to me, except those who are Vaishnavas, who are wearing tilak and Tulsi Mala. He described there to Ajamil, in that Ajamil history. So this is also one kind of benefit to others. If you wear tilak, they will get some sukriti, they will be purified. Like here he's saying that the Supreme Lord's lotus feet, they immediately wipe out all sin, pap. So somehow we have to try to help other jivas. All jivas are eternal servitors of Krishna. They may accept or not, they may know or not, that may be covered or not, but that is a fact. Everyone is coming from Supreme Lord and everyone has that inside. But due to this, our aversion to him, it may be covered, but we have to try to uncover that by providing some sukriti to jivas, then automatically Shraddha will appear and they can start. So I felt very grateful to Krishna yesterday. I could see the value of devotion to Krishna. Otherwise, you are in Maya, fully engrossed, and you don't even know that you are in Maya. You think that is all that is, and you are trying to get more and more these things, but that cannot satisfy you, and only trouble and suffering is increasing. And that is because we want that, so Krishna is giving us this, and he's also giving this arrangement for Sukriti, then gradually then we can come out, correct our mistake. Naham tatadmi yajamana havir vitane shtyota dgrita plutam adan huta bhun mukhena yad brahmanasya mukatascharato nughasam tushtasya mai avahitair nija karma pakei. I do not enjoy the oblations offered by the sacrificers in the sacrificial fire, which is one of my own mouths, with the same relish as I do the delicacies overflowing with ghee, which are offered to the mouths of the brahmanas who have dedicated to me the results of their activities and who are ever satisfied with my prasad. That fire sacrifice, we are offering swaha, offering. But if you feed Brahmana prasad, those pure Brahmanas who they are doing their Brahmanical duties and offering the results to Supreme Lord, if you feed them prasad, then he will be much more satisfied, Supreme Lord. Or through the mouth of Vaishnava, if you give. So yesterday only worldly talk, so it is empty. So I was hardly waiting that for today's program. Also, yesterday so many memories we were speaking, but nonsense activities, material activities. But I was hardly waiting that today we'll have this program. We also spoke about memories, but in relation to a devotee and the service of Krishna, so it was totally different energy, totally different atmosphere, pure, so that contrast was there. Memories, but memories of nonsense or memories of good things, of devotees and their qualities and seva and Vaishnava, Supreme Lord, totally different. So one like Supreme Lord is also enjoying through the mouth of Brahmins. Yesham bibharmyaham akhanda vikunta yoga maya vibhutir amalangri raja kiritai vipramstu kona vishakhetayat arhanamba sadhyah punati saha chandra lalama lokam. I am the master of my unobstructed internal energy, and the water of the Ganges is the remnant left after my feet are washed. That water sanctifies the three worlds, along with Lord Shiva, who bears it on his head. If I can take the dust of the feet of the Vaishnava on my head, who will refuse to do the same? Even Supreme Lord is putting, and he's telling to purify all universes and everyone, all living entities who are in me, to purify and to purify myself, because Krishna is thinking I am indebted to my devotees. They are so much serving me, I am unable to repay, so I am purifying myself by the dust from their feet. And his internal energy is unobstructed. Impossible that his will cannot be fulfilled. It will be fulfilled. So better we not try to obstruct or make our own plan. We will be frustrated. It is the best to just submit to his will, act according to his will. That will be beneficial for all, absolutely beneficial. Our rebellion against that is the cause of all trouble for us and for all others. So when Mahaprabhu went to South India and he entered Shiva temple and was paying respect to Shiva, then those Shaivites, they were very much surprised. You are a Vaishnava wearing tilak like this. Why you are entering Shiva temple? Because before there was a big fighting all the time between Vaishnavas and Shaivites. Who is supreme Lord? Ramanuja even said you should not enter Shiva temple. Even if you have to be devoured by tiger, still you should not take shelter of Shiva temple. By that he did not mean to disrespect Shiva, but because that conception that Shiva is a separate Supreme Lord, that conception is wrong. So to save them from that conception and to keep them in one-pointed devotion to Supreme Lord Narayan, he told that. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, they were surprised. Why you are coming? Then he said, because I am seeing Shiva as the greatest Vaishnava. They were telling, because we are always fighting. Then Mahaprabhu said, no, you can see in Shastra that Ganga is the water that washed the lotus feet of Vishnu. And that Ganga is always carried on his head by Shiva. So you can easily understand who is who. Vishnu is Supreme Lord, but Shiva is a Vaishnava, one who is always serving Vishnu, taking his foot wash water on his head. How we can disrespect him? We are worshippers of Vishnu and Vaishnava, both. Vaishnava worshipped appropriately as servant of Vishnu. So here it is mentioned that this Ganga is carried. He bears it on his head, Shiva. How we can disrespect such a devotee? Yeme tanur dvijavaran duhatir madhya putanyalam pada sharanani chabheda buddhya drakshyanti aghakshata drishohyahi manyavastan gridra rusha mama kushanti adi danda netu. Now I also remember 2 years ago, I think, one devotee here from Slovenia, elderly, she left body. So I asked her before her departure what teaching she can give me. Then she told, this my last years of my life when I was in Krishna consciousness were the best. That before was not, but those 20 years last were the best when I was in Krishna consciousness. So that is really true. We can understand. Ye me tanur dvijavaran duhatir maya, I already read. The Brahmanas, the cows, and the defenseless creatures are my own body. Those whose faculty of judgment has been impaired by their own sin look upon this as distinct from me. Means we are committing violence to them, but because we are seeing they are separate from Vishnu. We are worshipping Vishnu, but committing violence to his. That is not good. That will be one kind of offense. But those who see them as related, they will worship Brahmanas, the cows, and defenseless creatures, innocent. You will find in Rupa Goswami's Bhaktarasamrita Sindhu, in the limbs of devotional service, this is also there, to worship Brahmanas, to worship cows, and to worship those useful trees for bhajan, especially tulsi, and that is necessary. They're just like those persons who, with their own sin, look as distinct. They're just like furious serpents, and they are angrily torn apart by the bills of the vulture-like messengers of Yamaraj. They will be punished by Yamaraj. Those who commit violence to things, persons, dear to Vishnu, inseparable from him, the superintendent of sinful persons. Ye Brahmanan maidhya kshipator chayantas tushya dridha smita sudokshita padmavaktra vanyanuraga kalayatma javat grinanta sambodha yanti aham ivaham upahritas te. On the other hand, they captivate my heart who are gladdened in heart and who, their lotus faces enlightened by nectarian smiles, respect the Brahmanas, even though the Brahmanas utter harsh words. They look upon the Brahmanas as my own self and pacify them by praising them in loving words, even as a son would appease an angry father, or as I am pacifying you. But we have to know here it means real Brahmanas, Brahmanas by qualities. Not nowadays in Kali Yuga, they are designating Brahmanas by birth only, and in many cases they are not following Vedas, they are eating meat also, drinking alcohol, so they are not actually meant what is meant here by Brahmanas. Brahmanas in Shastra means those who have 12 Brahminical qualities. Sama, Dhamma, that faith in Krishna, all you will find in Gita and in other Shastras, 12 qualities they have. So, such Brahmanas, if someone respects them, then Krishna is pleased with him. Tanme Swabhartur Avasayam Alakshamanav Yushmat Vyatikrama Gatim Pratipadya Sadhya Bhuyo Mamantikam Itam Tat Anugrahome Yat Kalpatam Achirato Britayor Vivasha. Our Gurudev told, one mother has affection for her child. If you show some affection to mother, but disrespect or even trouble the child, then mother can never be happy. But if you show affection to the child, mother will be more happy than if you show affection to her, because she has love for him. Like that, Krishna is very much satisfied. If someone respects and serves the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, so much pleased. That is the best way to please him. These servants of mine have transgressed against you, not knowing the mind of their master. I shall therefore deem it a favor done to me if you order that, although reaping the fruit of their transgression, they may return to my presence soon, and the time of their exile from my abode may expire before long, means quickly. I'm praying for that. Brahmovach. Ata tasyo shatim devim rishi kulyam saraswatim nasvadya manyo doshtanam tesham atmapyatripyata. Brahma continued. Even though the sages had been bitten by the serpent of anger, their souls were not satisfied with hearing the Lord's lovely and illuminating speech, which was like a series of Vedic hymns. Satim vyadaya shrinvanto lagvim gur arta gahvaram vigahya gada gambiram navidus tachikirshitam. The Lord's excellent speech was difficult to comprehend because of its momentous import and its most profound significance. The sages heard it with wide open ears and pondered it as well. But although hearing, they could not understand what he intended to do. They could not understand whether the Lord was angry or pleased with them. Te yoga maya yarabda parameshtya mahodayam prochuh pranjalaya vipra prahrishta kshubita tvacha. The four Brahmana sages were nevertheless extremely delighted to behold him, means Naren, and they experienced a thrill throughout their bodies. They then spoke as follows to the Lord, who had revealed the multi-glories of the Supreme Personality through his internal potency, Yogamaya. Rishaya Uchuv. Navayam Bhagavan Vidvams. Tava Deva Vidmas. Tava Deva Chikirshitam Krito me Nugrahashcheti Yat Adyakshah Prabhashase. The sages said, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are unable to know what you intend for us to do. For even though you are the Supreme Ruler of all, you speak in our favor as if we had done something good for you. Supreme Lord said they committed offense. You are Brahmanas. You should be respected and I will be pleased. So they're thinking in this way. You speak in our favor as if we had done something good for you. Brahmanyasya param devam brahmanah kilate prabho vipranam deva devanam bhagavan atma devatam. O Lord, you are the supreme director of the Brahminical culture. Your considering the Brahmanas to be in the highest position is your example for teaching others. Actually, you are the supreme worshipable deity, not only for the gods, but for the Brahmanas also. Tvatah sanatano dharmo rakshyate tanubhistava dharmasya paramuguhyo nirvikaro bhavan mata. You are the source of the eternal occupation of all living entities. And by your multi-manifestations of personalities of Godhead, you have always protected religion. You are the supreme objective of religious principles, and in our opinion, you are the inexhaustible and unchangeable eternally. He never becomes old. I could also observe yesterday how time is passing and our bodies, they become old. I saw that photo from when I was in 8th class primary school. I could hardly recognize myself and others, how young we were, but this is always changing, and ultimately death is coming. So Prahlad Maharaj told, don't waste time. You start bhajan immediately, otherwise you will regret. And the time of death, you never know when it will come, so better to start early. And like, I think 1/3 of them were also smoking. That is also not good. But what to do? This is like this is society. Unless one comes in contact with devotees and starts devotion, or at least some sattvic moral, some spirituality, then you will do all those things. Sadly. So Prahlad Maharaj was feeling compassion for those demon boys. You start worshipping Supreme Lord. He could convince them because he himself is example. Then he can inspire in others that devotion. And also Prahlad said, I am not happy if I have to go alone to you. I want to bring all these conditions also. Devotees, they have compassion, seeing that there is no use of that kind of life, and it is producing suffering. The real life is in the service of Krishna. So here, Supreme Lord is unchangeable eternally, means he never becomes old. He may do pastime of, like he may appear in old, but he's not actually old. And devotees also. That is transcendental lila. So old age, so many problems. We have to come to that transcendental platform of eternal forms of Supreme Lord and our eternal form. That is real life. Otherwise, only passing through these different species, birth, death, old age, disease. Suffering. Suffering at the time of birth, death, old age, and disease, and threefold miseries. Taranti hyanja samrityum nivrita yat anugrahat yoginah sabhavan kim svit anugrihyeta yat parei. Mystics and transcendentalists, by the mercy of the Lord, cross beyond nescience by seizing all material desires. It is not possible, therefore, that the Supreme Lord can be favored by others. By having desire to serve Krishna, we can give up other material desires. Those who totally gave up means totally accepted that our target is to satisfy him. They only can cross beyond nations, this Maya. Yam vai vibhutir upayati anuvelam anyer arthartibhi swashira sadrita padareno dhanyar pitangri tulasinavadama dhamno loka madhuvrata patir iva kama yana. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, the dust of whose feet is worn on the head by others, waits upon you as appointed, for she is anxious to secure a place in the abode of the king of bees, who hovers on the fresh wreath of tulsi leaves offered at your feet by some blessed devotee. It's very poetic. Again, I will have to read. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, the dust of whose feet is worn on the head by others, waits upon you, means she's serving Narayan, as appointed, for she is anxious to secure a place in the abode of the king of bees, who hovers on the fresh wreath of tulsi leaves offered at your feet by some blessed devotee. Yas tam vivikta chariter anuvartamanam natyadriyat parama bhagavata prasanga Satvam dvijanupata punya rajah punita Shrivatsa Lakshma kim aga bhaga vajanastvam. O Lord, you are exceedingly attached to the activities of your pure devotees. Yet you are never attached to the goddess of fortune who constantly engage in your transcendental loving service. How can you be purified, therefore, by the dust of the path traversed by the Brahmanas? And how can you be glorified or made fortunate by the marks of Srivatsa on your chest? To Ambarish Maharaj, no, to Durvasa Rishi, Narayan told, even I don't want to have company of Lakshmi without my pure devotees like Ambarish Maharaj. So much love he has. Dharmasya te bhagavatas triyuga tribhisvai padvish characharam idam dvija devatartham nunam britam tat abhighati rajas tamascha satvena no varadaya tanuva nirasya. O Lord, you are the personification of all religion. Therefore, you manifest yourself in 3 millenniums, Triyuga, openly, but in Kali Yuga, hiddenly, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And thus, you protect this universe, which consists of animate and inanimate beings. By your grace, which is of pure goodness, and is the bestower of all blessings, kindly drive away the elements of Rajas and Tamas for the sake of the demigods and twice born, means Brahmanas. Natvam dvijotamakulam yadihatma gopam gopta vrishach svarhanena sa sunritena tarhyeva nankshati shivastava devapanta loko grahishyat rishabhasya hitat pramanam. O Lord, you are the protector of the highest of the twice born. If you do not protect them by offering worship and mild words, then certainly the auspicious path of worship will be rejected by people in general, who act on the strength and authority of your lordship. Yes, here in commentary also. In Bhagavad Gita it is stated by the Lord himself that the acts and character of great authorities are followed by people in general. So Krishna also follows this. Although he does not need, but he is following so that others may follow. Also for Prahlad Maharaj, it was no need to perform Shraddha for his father because he was already liberated. But because he was a king, everyone is looking what he's doing and they will follow. So Narayan ordered him, you will have to do that Shraddha so that others will follow. Because they are not pure devotees. They did not liberate their fathers. Tat te nabishtam iva sattva nider viditso kshemam janaya nija shaktibir udritare. Naitavata tri adipater bata vishwabhartus teja kshatam tva avanatasya sate vinoda. Dear Lord, you never want the auspicious path to be destroyed, for you are the reservoir of all goodness. Just to benefit people in general, you destroy the evil element by your mighty potency. You are the proprietor of the three creations and the maintainer of the entire universe. Therefore, your potency is not reduced by your submissive behavior, now to Brahmanas. Rather, by submission, you exhibit your transcendental pastimes. If we can understand that Krishna is the proprietor of the three creations, I don't know which meant here. There is primary and secondary, and but also three creations also mean these transcendental worlds that is created, means manifested by his internal potency, and all these innumerable material universes created by his external potency, and there is another creation that is Jiva Shakti, manifested by his potency. If we can understand that he's the owner and we are owned by him, his maintainer, protector, then we will worship him. And here also, when you play the pastime of being submissive, that does not diminish your strength. That is only his pastime. Yam vanayor damam adisha bhavan vidhate vritim nu vatat anu man mahi nirvyalikam asmasu va ya uchito driyatam sadando ye nagasau vayam ayungshmahi kilbishena. O Lord, whatever punishment you wish to award to these two innocent persons, or also to us, we shall accept without duplicity, because you are all good. We understand that we have cursed two faultless persons. Shri Bhagavan Uvach. Eto Sure Taragatim Pratipadya Sadhya Samramba Sambrita Samadhyanubhada Yogo Bhuyah Sakasham Upayasyata Ashu Yovah Shapo Mayeva Nimitastat Aveta Vipra. The Lord replied, O Brahmanas, know that the punishment you inflicted on them was originally ordained by me. And therefore they will fall to a birth in a demoniac family. But they will be firmly united with me in thought through mental concentration intensified by anger, and they will return to my presence shortly. Because it was in the commentaries we come to know that Krishna wanted to have fighting pastimes. So he can only fight with his devotees. So he made such pastime so that they will become demons and he can fight with them for his own pleasure. Like some friends or in school, they're friends, but they will divide in two parties to play football and they will be against each other, but they're all friends. No animosity. So like that, for the sake of fighting, he made this lila. That is why Bishwana Chakravarti Thakur explained that we should not take this example of Jai and Vijay falling from Vaikuntha as like jivas falling from Vaikuntha. No, this is pastime. It's not ordinary event. Krishna's desire was behind, or like Radharani cursing Sudama to become demon, and Parvati cursing Chitraketu to become demon. These are all pastimes Bishwana Chakravarti Thakur told. For some higher purpose. Also Parikit Maharaj cursed by that Brahmin boy by the will of Krishna to take him quickly back home. So tomorrow we will further hear.